So that bar obviously continues to climb as it should. That's why, you continue to go, you continue to grow. So here we go. Got a little pink Post-it note. So number one.
Me versus me, so I don't really care if people doubt. Yo, popular loner kid, but still on go if shit gets wild. K low key, don't talk too much, but still got loud.
What's up? So it's 8:42 p.m. March 4th. It's a new video, episode 18, I think. Gotta fix this shit. Mindset's everything. Much better. In this video, we're gonna be doing quickly going over, if you care, not, I'll put a timestamp in this video to just fast forward to the main part of the video, but February sales numbers for the two businesses. Keep it brief, but the last week or so on Amazon hasn't been great, and I'm referring to Prop Daddy. Almost non-existent sales, like from Friday to today, which is Tuesday, right? So Friday to Tuesday. Friday was like $0. I think we did 160 on Saturday. We did 0 on Sunday, 0 on Monday. And I think we did like 120 today. So not great. Don't really know the reason whatsoever for that. That's not normal. That isn't the way it's been whatsoever. Everything's basically been trending upward, like $1,000 weeks to 1,200, 13, 15. We did like almost 2,000, or it was 2 weeks ago, we did a little over 2,000 a week. I think we went back down to like 1,700 a week after, and then this week, $200-300. So there's some reason for that, but I mean, we'll get into that specific topic in kind of a more in-depth thing, title of the video, So if you want to get to that, just fast forward. If not, we're going to go over February sales numbers just so it's documented within the series. So starting off, this is February 1st through February 28th, February 2025. So Pinch Perfect, so the crafting product brand that we have, 8.8K on the website. We did 14.5K on Amazon. And I think we did 1.5K on Etsy. So tallying those all up, 24.7K for the 28 days in February. Now Prop Daddy, what we were just talking about, 5K, basically on the dot. Now, if we compare that to January, for Pinch Perfect, we did 24.8K. So 24.8K comparative to 24.7K. Now, January has an extra 3 days. So if we would have extended that, we would have done better. But for this instance, basically the exact same thing. And then Prop Daddy, we did 5.6K. These are both strictly on Amazon for January, so a little less in February. January in total, we did 30.4K in sales revenue, not profit. And then February, 29.7K. The exact same thing. We probably would have done a couple $100 or $1,000 more than January, which honestly is a good thing. February is usually a decrease in sales compared to January, so those are good signs. So I'm gonna go back, build a couple Prop Daddies, and then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of this video and a couple lessons that I've learned on this journey and continue to learn because we keep going. Okay, so switching things up a little bit. So this entire documentation of my entrepreneurship journey, while I want it to just be like as natural, just me doing things, share some tips. I've been doing this for long enough that I do have some things that I think are valuable for other people that are just starting. I am nowhere near where I personally want to be with any of this stuff. That's what entrepreneurship is. You're never where you want to be. But when I started, I wanted to be where I am today. Now I'm here and I'm still nowhere near I want to be. So that bar obviously continues to climb as it should. That's why, you continue to go, you continue to grow. So here we go. Got a little pink Post-it note. So number one, timelines don't exist. And what I mean by that is, you watch somebody say, this is how you make X amount of dollars in this amount of time, 6 months, 2 years, whatever. Timelines are different. Everybody's journey is different. Everything you're doing is different, hopefully. And I think that's kind of a separate thing is make sure whatever you're doing is original to some extent. And, it has a little bit of you in it. And that's what makes things special. I thought when I started, 1 year, I should have a pretty good thing going. 2 years, I should be like rolling in it. 3 years, I should be like set up for my entire life. And looking back at that, like that's a very immature statement. Knowing the amount of work that I put in and where I'm at today, it's like laughable. That was the timeline. That was the max I could think about was 1 to 2 years. And now I'm thinking 5, 10 years. Things change, you experience different things. You'll eventually get to that point. But there's no video, there's no person on the internet that can tell you when things are gonna work out for you. That's completely up to you. And I don't wanna say necessarily the amount of work you put in. To some extent, yes. You can put in hours and hours and hours and hours, days, months, weeks, years of work, and things still might not work out. And that's not to say you're bad, you just might be doing the wrong thing. So yeah, that's tip one. I'm gonna try to keep this like within 15 minutes of a video, so. Second one is take risks, but make sure they're educated. The best example I have of this is in 2022. Going into 2023, I started a entrepreneur journal called Catalyst Entrepreneur. I have some videos of it on this channel. I spent a decent amount of time making it, and it took me probably about a year from when I started it to when I could start to sell it. I had the physical product in hand, and I thought it was going to be huge. I was so excited about it. I made it myself. I did everything. I was just so happy it was here. It was another thing. I was netting like $3,000 a week, pinch perfect. So like business was good. This was just another business to add another $3,000 a week to my pocket, right? So like that was the intent behind it. And that's what I thought. What I found out, the product, the idea was good. The market was somewhat there. The execution, however, may not have been the best. Still a product that I think is good, right? Because like I made it, I like it, I've used it multiple times, but I'm a very specific person, and I made it with the intent that everybody else that wants to be an entrepreneur or getting into entrepreneurship is like me, which just isn't true at all. I'm kind of crazy about all this shit. Entrepreneurship is my life, and not a lot of people, especially starting out, consider entrepreneurship their life. So I made that product with that in mind, and I started selling it. And I spent about $3,600 to get 500 units shipped here from China. Mentally, that is $3,500 down the drain. It's a learning lesson. That was a risk I took. At the time, I had no experience with manufacturing products overseas, what it took to start and complete like a completely new original product. I just kind of went with it. I did it. It's fair to say that it didn't work out. It's a failed business. Just add that to the list that I've done and failed. So yeah, it's a learning lesson. It was a good one. I learned some valuable things from doing that, but I took a risk, and it wasn't an educated risk. I did everything based on me. Take risks, make sure they're educated. Number 3, as kind of a two-parter, things won't happen overnight. Entrepreneurship, starting a business, it is front-end loaded. It is probably one of the most front-end loaded things you can do because you're truly starting something from scratch. You're gonna do a ton of work, put in a lot of hours, and nothing's gonna come from it. You're gonna do that over and over and over again, and you're gonna start to worry eventually. Like, is this worth my time? Am I putting in enough work? Am I doing the right things? Am I selling the right thing? All of those things just kind of start to trickle in. You get a little nervous, you get worried, and then you get to the mindset, I probably shouldn't even be doing this. I'm not built for this. I shouldn't be doing this. Or I need to change and do something new, right? Those are the two common exits to that path. Doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. Just a brief history of everything I've done. I started my first business when I was like 16, 17 years old. Pinch Perfect, which I consider to be the first like successful business that That was 2022. So I was 16 or 17, 2022. I'm the same age as whatever year it is, so I was 22 at the time. So that's 6 years. You know, when I was 16, 17, I just kind of started things. I didn't really have a real plan. I just kind of was getting into it. I was off and on with a bunch of things, which obviously is kind of what I just said. That's one of the paths, is you start something, you stop it, find something new. So yeah, don't do that. Things don't happen overnight. The path I was taking with starting and stopping things so frequently was that I basically had to start and stop things until something worked, and worked quickly, which isn't likely, right? So things take time, and that's something you never really get better at it. You improve in some areas where like, okay, I've been through this before. I know things probably take a little bit longer than this, but I think we're all impatient to some extent, so you never really get better at it, but you understand it more. You know, your first 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months in business, you know, when results are minimal and executions at an all-time high, that's normal. Like that's the way it's supposed to be. You're not gonna start a business and make $1 million the next day. And that's something I still have to tell myself, even with Prop Daddy. What I was just talking about is we had 3 out of 5 days with $0 in sales. I don't know what caused it. I don't know what the problem is, because that's not normal at all. And everything was trending upwards, and this was supposed to be a great month. Things were gonna be good in March. All the thoughts that I had, because that's what I expected. Starting off awful, like the worst it's been in 3 months. And I can sit here and I can think, okay, I need to be doing this, that. This is wrong, this is wrong, this is probably the cause of that. And I can work hours on hours on hours trying to figure out what the problem is, solve a problem, start new problems basically. Or I can just sit back and be, this isn't gonna happen overnight. These things happen. Let's just ride it out until it starts working again, right? There's always little things you can do to improve things that are gonna help, but there's only so much control you actually have. The one factor that's common in all of them is time. Like, give things time, let them work out on their own. As long as you continually to do the things you know you need to do, just wait, just wait. And the last one, just to kind of round off this video, is consistency. Consistency is like, that's the name of the game. When things don't work out, the money's not coming in, every possible scenario is just like running through your mind of why the world sucks and entrepreneurship life wasn't meant for you. These are just things I think of. You still got to do it. Like, you just have to keep going. The people that are the most successful are the people that continued to stay consistent when nothing was working. And that's through the good times and the bad times. Whatever the circumstance, the scenario is, stay consistent with what you know you need to do. Entrepreneurship isn't an easy life. It's not a perfect life. A lot of people make it seem like it's a perfect life. Can be, eventually. But for 99% of it, it's just consistency, consistency, consistency. Hopefully this video wasn't too long. I probably could have rehearsed some of those things a little bit better, but I don't know, it was just kind of on the spot. I was like, I should do that. Those are some of the things that I think are valuable for new entrepreneurs, and even some that have been in the game for a little bit, to know, understand. And if you have been in the game for a little bit, you probably already know a few of those. But yeah, that's life. That's entrepreneurship life. So that's it for episode 18. Hopefully you liked it. If you did, let me know. On to episode 19.
That's life.
That's life.
That's what all the people say.